What I'm going to show you guys is something that I've really refined over the past 12 years. And these are my phases of a renovation. These are the same phases and steps that I take to take properties like this and turn them into this, and turn them into this into this. You guys get the picture, right? All that kind of stuff. All that. So those are the kind of those same kind of steps that I take to manage all these renovations. And can tell you, I feel like it's really helped me become a more well-rounded real estate investor when you really understand the renovations. Because when you can expand your buy box to bigger properties that need a little bit more work, properties that many people will pass on because they're intimidated or they don't know where to start, that right there opens up an entire new pool of inventory that you can buy from. So number one, keep that in mind. Number two, when you can go through these houses and you guys have your salesperson hat on when you're selling them the deals or trying to connect them with cash buyers, you can also speak about the process. Like when they're just like, oh, man, Andrew, that house needs a lot of work, or Herman, I don't think this is that good, or well, you guys are able to tell them, well, like, hey, actually, if you kind of take this in certain steps, or if you look at it this way, you're really able to become more of like a consultant than a person just trying to sell them a house. Like you want to position yourself in this business as a team member for somebody that is at a level you want to be. Now, let's jump over to the phases. Number one thing that I always want to do, these are the steps. This will be the nuts and bolts, guys. So step number one is I want to come up with a plan. So whenever I'm looking at properties, whenever it's for wholesaling or whether I'm buying and holding it, what's the plan of the house? How can I force the appreciation of that house? How can I increase the value of that house? Like, I don't want to buy things for what they are. I just want to buy them for what they can be. Just like houses that are properties that are big renovations, there are certain properties that are functionally obsolete, which means they were great maybe back when they were built, but nowadays things have changed. People aren't crazy about formal dining rooms and they'd rather have an extra bedroom. And I'll show you guys that here in a second. But number one, what's the highest and best use of that property? What does that look like? You know, what can I do? Where's the gold? Like, where's the gold in this property? And how can I get to the gold, right? You guys want to get to the gold, right? That's how we make money, is like we get to the gold. We buy in right areas and then we make the right improvements. Those are the two things. Number one is come up with a plan. Number two is demo, and only demo after you guys have closed or after your investor has sold it. So my rule for demo is very simple. My rule is whatever is not going to be there at the end of the renovation has to go during the demo phase. Light switches, fans, blinds, curtains, anything and everything, guys. It has to go during the demo phase. So get a dumpster, get a dump trailer, whatever it is, but make sure you get all that stuff out during the demo phase. And the last thing about demo is keep it clean. At the end of the day, whenever they're done doing demo, make sure everything's swept up, everything's cleaned up, all the nails are pulled. Just make sure you have a clean slate to work with after every single day whenever you guys are doing the demo and you're starting over and whatever that looks like. So we plan, then we demo, and the next thing that we do is we plan again. Now, I always fall into this trap of just I'll have a really good idea for something, we'll demo it, we'll get all cleaned up, and then now that everything's out of the house, whether you're trashing out furniture, you're getting rid of walls or whatever you're doing, I just want to revisit the property now that's all cleaned up and make sure that my original plan is the highest and best use for that property. So I just want to make sure that what I'm going to do increases the value and it makes the most sense. Then after that, step 4 is framing. Now, when I say framing, think like skeleton, think like body. Framing is lumber, like 2x4s, any structural things that need fixed. Basically, I want to build any new walls that are coming up. I want to get all the framing put together there. I want to install any support beams, any headers, LVLs. I want to install my windows. I want to install any of that kind of stuff. And while that's happening on the inside, on the outside is when I work from the roof down. I'll do roof, siding, and any kind of concrete work or anything like that. I typically do my gutters at the very, very end because if I have any investors in here, you might understand and feel the pain. My gutters always get destroyed. My God, they're aluminum. People back into them. They get destroyed. I just want my gutters to be at the very end, just so they look really clean when we're finished. So quick little recap. We have planned, we demo, we plan again, and then we do our framing. We build any of our walls. We fix anything structural, any joists, anything that needs fixed. We take care of all of that kind of stuff right there. After that is our rough-in phase. And our rough-in phase it is defined this way. It is anything behind the walls gets done during this phase. And typically this is like an order I'd like to go in is like HVAC, plumbing, and electric. Those are trade specific jobs. Those are trade specific. That means that I want licensed contractors that can pull permits and know how to do this work doing that work. So I want all that stuff done behind the walls. And then the next thing is going to be insulation, fire blocking, and fire caulking. So get all of that done, inspected, knock that out, and just make sure it's clean and it's all permitted if you're pulling permits, and it's ready to roll on that phase there. So that's the rough in. Next is drywall and Backerboard. So number one is we plan, then we demo, then we plan again, then we do framing, then we do our rough in and everything behind the walls, and then we do our drywall and Backerboard. Now, this is like one of my favorite phases right here. This is actually the phase I'm in my house that I live in right now, and I'm very excited. We're doing a huge renovation to my house I live in. We are adding 2,000 square feet, and we ripped out almost the entire house. So it's massive. But we're at the drywall phase, and I can tell you guys during the drywall phase, it is exciting because the house is finally taking shape. Like the rooms are getting defined, like everything is like looking the way it's supposed to. So we hang drywall, and at the same time we hang the Backerboard. And Backerboard, guys, is cement board. The cement board is what tile is going to bond to. So just think cement board, tile, like wherever there's cement board, that's going to be where tile goes. And then we take it a step further, and we also want to add red guard to anywhere that gets lots of water, like in the showers. You want to red guard that to make sure that it does not leak or ever become any kind of issue. All right, now we're at trim. So we've demoed, we plan, we demo, we plan again. We did our framing, we did everything behind the walls, all the mechanicals, everything behind the rough-ins, insulation, the drywall. And then now is the trim part. The trim includes baseboard and casing. So, and any pre-hung doors. This is where I just want to hang any of the stuff up. So any of the pre-hung doors, window casing, door trim, any of that goes up during this phase. And also, actually, I should mention right before this phase of the drywall phase, I'm going to spray everything with primer. I'm going to hit the drywall with one coat of primer during the drywall phase. So I want to make sure that's up and everything has got at least one coat of primer. Then the next is painting and tiling. I want to get all the painting and tiling done at step 8. Now, my rule for painting, I know some of you guys in the academy might know this. I see a few of you guys. My rule for painting is very, very simple, and it's one that I feel like I've gotten some backlash on, and then some people have done it. Many people have done it, and then they're like, oh my God, this is awesome. My rule is very simple. For my rental properties and my investment properties, I paint everything the exact same color, exact same sheen everywhere. I paint everything PPG speed high, eggshell, in delicate white. Doors, trims, everything. We just spray every single thing the exact same color, and then we back roll it. And I can tell you guys in the beginning, I would do walls agreeable gray, trim and doors intellectual gray, ceiling flat, then semi-gloss in one spot. Like I was painting everything every color. When I got to about 40 or 50 doors, it became a nightmare to keep track of paint. Like what paint I used where. I would think I was designing stuff. Like I would wanted to win an HGTV award, just like all kinds of nonsense. And I'm just like, guys, who's in this to make money? Like I'm in this to like make money and scale and really grow. I'm not in this for somebody to drop like a blue ribbon on my front door and be like, man, Jerry said accent wall really set it off. That was the difference maker in your rent. Like it's not. I promise you, nobody cares about your accent wall. They might think they care about it, but they don't. Like I did a lot of my houses starting out were really old houses built in like the 1800s, 1890s, and they all had wood trim. And I was like, and people, I would talk to the neighborhood and go to these city council meetings, and they'd be like, yeah, just don't paint the wood trim. Whatever you do, don't paint the wood trim. I'm like, all right, yeah, I won't. So I painted all the walls and I left all the wood trim. Guess what all the feedback was from everybody that came to look at the apartment? It was, doesn't look like it's finished. When are you going to be done painting? Looks dirty. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look finished. All because I left the old wood trim the way it was. Because people say they want things, but they really don't. It doesn't really like matter, to be totally honest. Say that as respectfully as possible. But it's not what the market wants. So And so then I painted the trim intellectual gray, the exact same places. And guess what? They rented in like an hour and nobody said anything because the things that you think are a really big deal really are not that big of a deal. So just keep that in mind. But paint everything the exact same color everywhere. Now, tile, I keep very simple. I do a subway tile. Sometimes I'll get crazy and stack it vertically like this photo. Sometimes I don't. It just depends. Like I'll just keep it pretty simple right here. Then the next thing is my carpentry. Now my carpentry is basically think of somebody with like a hammer, drill, and a circular saw. Like that's my carpenter, and that's when I have them come in, and then we'll set kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities. We'll install doorknobs and door stops. We'll switch out hinges, any of that kind of stuff. Install the mirrors in the bathrooms. We'll do bathroom vanities and cabinet hardware. So that's when we'll come in and just do all of that. You know, do all of that kind of finish work that looks like this. So you see here where the bathroom vanity is set in here, the cabinets are set, cabinet hardware. It's really starting to take shape. It looks really nice. It's looking really good. Over here, you can see on the left, there's that oval mirror there. My one thing is if you guys are just on a budget and you're doing any of these properties, I want to update a bathroom and make it look a little bit nicer to attract more buyers or whatever it is. I think that one of the biggest things you can do is put a new vanity in. Vanities are not expensive. Like 24-inch vanity from Home Depot or Lowe's you can get for like 300 bucks and they look nice. But one thing I always recommend is never using the mirror that comes with the vanity. I'm a big fan of going on Amazon, spending $50, $60 extra and getting a nicer metal frame mirror. It just goes a long way. I just think it looks a lot nicer if you go with something like that. Just that little extra touch. So that's the carpentry. So let's recap. We plan, demo, plan again. Then we do our framing, then we do our roughing, all of our installation, everything behind the walls, all that mechanicals. Then we do our drywall, then we do our trim, then we do our trim, and then we do our tile and our backer and all of that, and then we knock out our carpentry at this point. Step number 10 is your finish work. Now your finish work is when I want my trade specific contractors to come in and I want them to put the outlets in. I want them to put the lights in. I want to set my toilets, my faucets, or my anything like that, my HVAC grills, all that kind of stuff. I want to get done during the finish phase. And while that's happening, I also want to order my stone for my countertops. Whether you're going to do granite, whether you're going to do quartz, whatever it is, order your countertops at this point. And guys, if you're on a budget, like one thing is we've stayed away a lot in the last few years from speckled granite. Back in the day, we'd use a lot of stuff like Ashton White, St. Cecilia. Like these are like really speckled stones, like very entry level. If I'm on a budget, I'll do a stone like Black Pearl, which is a more solid black. But if I have a little extra money, I'll do like a nice like quartz. And the quartz looks great, and you can get that for between $55 and $65 a square foot installed, which people notice it and it looks good. Issue with quartz is it can stain a little bit easier than granite, so make sure you guys seal it and stay on top of that for just for preventative maintenance sake. And then the last thing I like to do, one of the last things I like to do, this is where I install my flooring in my LVP. So sometimes people want to do this earlier, and then we'll do this earlier. I do it at the very end only because I like to paint everything the exact same color. So what I ask my contractors to do, my carpenters, is I ask them to take the baseboard and just leave it up like an eighth of an inch thick. So I'll actually have a piece of the flooring there. So that way when we do the flooring, we can slide it under the baseboard that already exists. And the last thing that we do, we work our way out of the house and we just LVP everything. And we LVP around the kitchen cabinets. We don't LVP. We don't put flooring down and put cabinets over it. You don't want to do that in case you ever need to change anything. But we LVP everything. Lately, the last few houses I've done, I've actually just ran my LVP through the bathrooms as well. Back in the day, I would always do new bathroom tile and just kind of like match the bathroom floor tile with a tub surround. But now I've just been running LVP straight in the bathrooms. They're waterproof. It's come a really long way. It just looks really nice. And then, again, I'm scaling, right? We're building systems that scale. That's the most important thing. Is when you have your processes and you can go from house to house to house. These are the faucets I use. This is the flooring. This is the paint. These are the doors. This is it. Like, boom. All of these things, guys. All of those things make for systems at scale. And then punch out. Like Punch outs, basically like whatever it takes to officially finish the project, guys. New cabinet shelves, cabinet hardware, drawers, clean everything. I want to check the drains. I want to make sure everything works well, deep final cleaning. Just like anything it takes to basically get the property 100% done and ready for somebody to move in, ready for photos, ready to get it knocked out. These are the 12 steps that I follow on every single one of my properties.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.